not hiding behind this, I'm actually that short. Thus, I will be shorter real quickly here. My name is Jamie Callender. I had the privilege of representing the eastern suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio in the state legislature for 8 years, the most you could do under term limits. My district was racially mixed. I'm not. My district was Catholic. I'm Protestant. My district was, those that were Protestant were very evangelical and Christian right. I'm not. It's a hardcore Democratic district. It's always been represented by a Democrat. I've never been a Democrat. It's a bunch of soccer moms who have stickers on the back of their cars that say, guns kill people, take guns away. I'm a lifetime NRA member. Statistically, when I decided to run for the district, the House Republican Caucus in Ohio snickered at me. They said, well, okay, a short, fat, white kid, you know, that talks a lot, yeah, let him run. Maybe you'll keep him busy, make him spend some money. But then they did polling and realized that we had knocked on several thousand doors, and despite not agreeing with me on frequently any issue, they realized I actually cared about the district, that I cared about the fact that our schools in Cleveland were some of the worst in the nation. And the response had been simply to dump more money. Take more money from us to send them to something that's failing. What a stupid idea. But it's what they did best. And some of the ideas we talked about started resonating. The fact that government was trying to bring their monumental inefficiencies to even more areas in Northeast Ohio. The fact that we were spending more for road salt because there was a union salt manufacturer halfway across the country versus Morton Salt Factory who was laying off people in our district because, well, they weren't necessarily union enough to get the contract even though they literally were in our district. We were paying more to transport to get just a bunch of stupid stuff. Started resonating. So the Republican Party realized I had a chance. I had a chance. We'd been a Democratic House of Representatives, and in 94, we took it over by 2 seats. We had a chance to build that majority as a party in 96, and they decided to fund my race at the last minute and bought a few TV spots for me, and we won. So I go into office, and the first thing we do is I'm told that, you know, you're only going to be here 1 term. But you better listen to us because maybe, you know, you got lucky, maybe if you do things right. You know, they sent me this is great, they sent me a campaign manager that they paid for. And his first advice to me was, Jamie, you can't, and I'm sure you candidates have heard this, don't talk about the issues. Equivocate. Say how great and wonderful things can be if you're elected and how bad they are if the other person's elected. Because if you ever talk about the issues, you may get trapped and have to actually vote that way. And then they'll say you're being duplicitous. But no, I think I can manage to vote the way I believe fairly regularly. You know, oh no, you don't want to do that. They literally hired a babysitter to go with me to make sure I didn't talk about the issues, and they kept quitting because I wouldn't listen. So I get in office, and our first big vote is the session before the Republicans had rewritten our entire criminal code. It was a beautiful thing because as Republicans, I guess our party had decided that we were going to be tough on crime by making more people criminals. Right? We put more people in jail, we're tougher on crime. That was the concept. But unfortunately, when they rewrote the criminal laws, they forgot to put a penalty in for possession of marijuana. It's kind of humorous, one of those little oversights people forget when they spend a year and a half and millions of dollars drafting a bill. I can see how they forgot it. So the very first big bill I have, because there's this 90-day window before the effective date of legislation, it had passed in November. I was sworn in January, so that we only had 30 days to get this bill, this corrective bill to correct this oversight. Well, I didn't think it was a bad idea, this oversight. So they come to me in committee, and I'm a lawyer. Forget to mention, I'm a partner at a law firm. That's actually what I do for a living. The other stuff is just fun. Word 1 of advice, never do politics for a living, because then you're dependent on getting reelected, and sometimes you don't vote the way you really should if you're dependent on that for a job. So never, if you go into this and you run, please don't ever become dependent on it. The people that do that go in with the best of intentions, and come out corrupt by the system. I've seen it. A lot of my friends have done that. It's almost unanimous. Almost happened to me. So anyway, the speaker sends a fellow lawyer, a fire breather like me, someone who subscribes to the Cato lists, who is a good libertarian type Republican, up to talk to me in committee. Pulls me out and says, Jamie, you are going to vote for this bill to get out of committee. I'm like, no. Oh, but Jamie, this is, I mean, if you don't, people, possession of marijuana will be legal in Ohio. We can't do that. Surely you don't. Oh, okay. No, I'm not going to vote for it. So she sent the chief of staff to visit with me. No. She came. We had a female speaker. She came and visited with me and said, Jamie, we just gave you $300,000 worth of TV ads to get you here, and you're going to vote against us? I said, Madam Speaker, I thought you were trying to get me elected because you believed in what I stood for, not because you were buying me. And she threw a tantrum and left, and the next day I didn't have any staff, a parking space, or an office, but I voted my conscience and voted to keep that correctly. So my point is, the first time, if you do, miracle of miracles, get elected. And it's possible. I mean, I won black precincts. I won Catholic precincts. I won evangelical votes. I had Christian Wright passing out stuff for me, which still confuses me. What do I know? Won hardcore Democratic precincts. I was the top Republican vote getter ever in several precincts. If you get elected, and you can if you work hard enough and knock on enough doors and actually wholesale connect with people. The precinct projects that they talk about, we were doing this 15 years ago. We elected precinct committeemen who actually handed out literature and went door to door with us. Talk to people individually. Explain what you believe. What David Bowe said this morning is correct. People do believe like us, they just don't know it. But when you explain what the issues are, they're with you. And if they're not, they at least appreciate the integrity to tell them what you believe. A lot of people voted for me that said, hey, at the election day, hey, Jamie, I really don't like where you're on any issue, but I kind of like you, so I voted for you. If you get elected, don't lose those values. Do what you came there to do. Stay true to what you did. I did it because I didn't think I would win a second term. I'll be darned, I got 55% the second time, 60 the second time, and 64 the last time I ran under term limits. They spent over $1 million over 4 years trying to knock me out. Both parties, my own and the other one. Don't budge. Don't treat it as a career. Don't worry that the insurance companies won't donate to your campaign because you call them corrupt. Right. Don't worry that people are offended that you support pot smokers or prostitutes or gays when your district doesn't. It's not that you're supporting those things. It's not my business. Stay true to your beliefs, do what you know is right, and brag about that, and the voters will respect that more than the party organization, and eventually the party organization will start to support it as well and ask, gee, Jamie, can you help us? That's always fun.